Hi guys, how are yous? We are going to make Bullseye from Toy Story. So we are going to make this little guy here. So in your kit you would have received black, purple, white, orange and a little bit of red. Okay, so they're the colours that we're going to use today to make Bullseye. Now as you can see he's brown. So we're going to mix up the brown first of all. So what I want you to do is to take your orange sachet, okay? Now you can use all of this, or if you want a smaller bullseye, if you want a smaller bullseye, you can use half of the orange and half of the purple. It's entirely up to you. I'm just going to make a full size one today and then you'll be able to see it better as well. So I'm going to take the orange that I have in my pack and I'm going to take a pinch away, okay, and I'm going to pop it back into my pot, just a pinch, and that's going to be for the little stirrups on the side. Okay, you see these little bits of orange here? So we're just taking a little bit of clay and keeping it to one side, and that's going to be for those little stirrups, okay? So pop that to one side. Now, with the rest of the orange, we're going to add some purple. So take out a good amount of purple. Not all of the purple that you have there, but almost all of it, maybe 3/4. Okay, and you're going to add that to the orange, and you're going to stretch and fold until that becomes brown. Okay, now what to do is, if you have used not enough purple, that's okay, then you can add more. Okay, so I'm going to need to add more to mine. So add a wee spot more there. Okay, so this is a good amount of clay. He will be a good size. So if you want to make him smaller, you don't have to use all of your clay. You could keep half of it for something else. Okay, now what I'm going to do here, okay, it's almost like a light brown. So I'm going to add a little spot of black just to make it a deeper brown. So just about a pea-sized amount of clay, about a pea-sized amount. And we're going to stretch and fold. Okay. Alright, and I'm going to add another wee pea-sized amount of black, just to darken that up a little bit. So keep stretching and folding. Yeah, that's starting to become a little bit darker now. Okay, now it's not just as dark as I have it there, so I'm actually going to add just a little spot more purple. Set the rest of that to one side and a spot more black. And guys, this is a good way of doing it, you know, okay, because if you add too much clay at one time and you end up with a colour that you don't want to, it ends up far too dark. Or too much like purple than brown, then you've gone too far and it's hard to save it or, you know, retrieve it. So if you add small amounts as you go along, then that's a better way of achieving the colour that you want and not getting something that you don't want. Okay, so I've got the colour that I want now. So I'm going to set these other colours to the side. So I've got, it is a good size, 2 sachets of clay does make a good size amount of brown. So at this stage, if you think, oh my goodness, this is going to be a very big bullseye, you can just break half of that away and pop it into a pot or wrap it in cling film and keep it for something else. You might want to make a teddy bear, something a wee bit different with that other piece of clay rather than one big bullseye. But I'm going to make one big bullseye, okay? So the whole amount of clay that you have, I want you to roll that into a sausage shape. Okay, now we're going to divide this into 3 pieces, okay? So if you know how to do thirds, then happy days. If you need some help, go ask for some help. Okay, I'm going to mark it twice, and that'll give me 3 pieces. And you're going to cut that up. Okay, so you want to have 3 pieces of clay, all about the same size. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set 2 to one side. One is for the body, one is for the legs, and one is for the head. So this part that we are using is going to be for the body. So roll it into a ball shape, guys, and then I want you to roll it into a short sausage, okay? A bit like the inside of a Kinder Egg. Short sausage. Fabulous. Set it to one side, bring forward the smaller of the 2. Roll it into a sausage. Okay, Now, what I would like you to do is to cut this in half. In half, okay? And then in half again. So that we have 4 pieces of clay. 4 pieces. Okie dokes. Fabulous. Now roll all of those into ball shapes, and the reason why we're rolling them back into ball shapes is to take out all the little lines and creases and imperfections, okay? So we need to have 4 pieces of clay all about the same size. There we go. Brilliant. These are going to be the legs. So I'm going to roll these into little sausages about the size of my little finger or your little finger, okay? So good enough size there, Mum and Dad. If the little one, your little one is only aged sort of 4 or 5 and have tiddly fingers, they might want to roll them a little bit bigger than your little finger, okay? So measure it against either Mum and Dad's thumb or your little finger, okay? Fabulous. Now, we want this to look like it has 2 joints because you have a thigh and you have a calf, okay? Same as a horse. So we have the top half, the bottom half. So what we're going to do, we're just going to mark this with our little knife. So what I want you to do is find the middle and just press in about halfway. So you're not cutting it. You're just making a line down the middle, okay? And then line those up. So there's a wee bit of movement in those now. Great. Okay, happy days. Now, what I would like you to do, we're going to give them some hooves and they're going to be black. So take out your black clay, lift out a piece of clay about the size of a Malteser sweet, maybe slightly bigger. Give it a good old stretch and fold because we know how important that is. Stretch and fold, roll a sausage, guys. Okay, so we'll have 4 legs, so we need 4 hooves. So let's cut that in half. Cut it in half again. Remember, guys, you can put me on pause at any time because I know I work a little bit faster, so you can just have the wee remote there. Stick me on pause. That's okay, I don't mind. Okay, roll these into little ball shapes, guys. So you should have 4 pieces of black clay. And we're going to make these into mini marshmallows, my favourite. So with Peter Pointer, roll them into little tic-tac shapes. So tiny little sausages, a bit like a jelly bean. Turn them upright and hold it between your finger and your thumb and give it a squish until it looks like a little marshmallow that you would have with your ice cream or your hot chocolate. Wee mini marshmallow. Do that with all 4. Okay, and set them upright on the table. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our legs and hold them upright and we're going to push them down onto the hooves. So they're at the bottom of the leg. You're going to do that with all 4. Don't worry if they don't stand up like mine. This wee one's about to keel over. Don't worry if they don't stand up. That's okay. No worries for that. Keep the little lines that you've made in the middle for the little knees. Keep those upright so that you can see those, okay? Now, as you can see with this wee dude here, he's lying down, okay? He's having a wee chill. And his wee back legs on the back there are out at the back because he's just having a wee chill out there. So what we want to do is take the body and we're going to add 2 legs to the back. We want to be able to see those knees, guys. Now leave enough room at the back there, guys, for a tail. So this is what he looks like. It's a little V shape at the back, okay? So a long body, and then the 2 legs as a V at the back, a little bit of room in the middle because that's where his tail's going to go, okay? Now, I want you to do the exact same at the front. So, almost going to look like the letter X with the body in the middle, okay? So, pop the 2 front legs on. Again, leave room for the head, boys and girls. Leave room for the head, okay? Well done. Now, leave them sitting there. We're going to use our red. So, let's lift out some red clay. Okay, so we want to use about the size of a marble. Okay, about the size of a marble. Now guys, this is using our clay for the bigger amount of clay, alright? So if you have halved your clay, remember your pieces might be a little bit smaller. So if you're using a smaller amount of clay, you might use a smaller amount of red. Okay, so let's give this a stretch and a fold. And I want you to break off from this piece of clay 2 pea-sized amounts of red. In fact, you know what? Yeah, let's keep it nice and red. Okay, so 2 pea-sized amounts. Roll those into ball shapes. We're looking at garden pea size, okay? And then roll those into 2 little tic-tac shapes. And then press down with your thumb to flatten those a little bit. And they're going to go onto the 2 sides of the body. So onto the 2 lengths either side. I'm going to lift this up so that you can see. So on the 2 sides. Okay? Head at the front, tail at the back. And these are going to be the stirrups. Now with the rest of the red, we're going to roll that into a short sausage. A bit like the inside of a Kinder egg. And then with your heel of your hand, we're going to press down and flatten that a little bit. Okay. Great. Now, I'm just going to bring the edges up a wee tiny little bit. You can do that with your finger. You can pinch the edges up if you want so that they're up a wee bit at the edges. So we're going to put this on across the body. So I'm going to lift this up. Okay, so there's your 2 red either side. We're going to put this on across the body. Just set it on top and then just press down with your fingers a little bit. Now we don't want to squish it right on. So this is a saddle, okay? And that will naturally, the more you go on with your workshop, that will naturally sink down onto his body anyway, okay? So you don't need to squish it hard. Now this is where we use our little bit of orange that was set to one side, okay? Now, I had said just a pinch, okay, so you might not need to use all of this. So what I want you to do is to take a pea-sized amount. Okay, so if you've got too much, just pop the rest back away. So I've lifted out a pea-sized amount. I'm going to roll it into a sausage, quite a long sausage. And I'm going to cut that in half. Okay. And I'm going to roll those again into 2 sausages. Okay, this is about half the size of your thumb. Now guys, we're going to make the letter C. So hold it up in your fingers and make the letter C. And then we're going to attach this on to the little red bit at the side. So just touch it onto one side, touch it onto the other side. And that's your stirrup. And you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So hold him up, touch it onto one side of the red, and then touch it onto the other side of the red. And that's your stirrup. And then set him back into a safe place. Okay, remembering which is the front and the back. Although there shouldn't really be a lot of difference, okay. Right, fabulous. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we are going to take the piece that we have left aside for the head, okay, and we're going to take a little bit of white. So I want you to take out of your pot a piece of clay about the size of a marble. About the size of a marble, yeah. Okay, and we're going to take a pinch of the brown, about the size of a pea, and we're going to add it on. And we're going to stretch and fold. And this is going to create the colour that we need. See, for a snout, for the front there. Yeah, so it's not quite white. It's like a light brown, like a tanny colour. So lots of stretching and folding. Now guys, we need to allow for his little nostrils. Okay, so his nostrils, boop, boop. He is cute, like, isn't he? So we need to take a little pinch of that clay. Take a little pinch. They're not overly big, so less than the size of a pea, about the size of a million sweet. Set that to one side and roll this into a ball. Now, what we do need to allow for is a little neck. So I want you to take a piece of clay about the size of a Malteser sweet. Okay, about the size of a Malteser sweet. Roll it into a ball, into a short sausage, and we're going to make our mini marshmallow again. Hold it between your finger and your thumb, give it a squeeze. And then guys, up at the front of your horse, we're going to pop this on right on the corner there, you see that? So where it starts to bend up towards the saddle is where we want to put that neck. Okay, so that's your mini marshmallow, guys. So that's where his wee head's gonna go. So pop that on there. All right, happy days. Okay, so back to the heat. Now, we don't want it to be too big. So what we do need to allow for is some ears. Okay, so take a wee pinch off again for his ears and set that to one side. Okay, now that's fine. I'm going to take a little pinch off again because it's a wee bit big, and we can keep that little bit of brown for the tail and the mane. Okay, so set that to one side as well. So you should have a piece of clay that is about twice the size of the tan colour. That's what you want, about twice the size. I'll bring that closer. See that? Okay, so what I want you to do with the tan colour, we've rolled that into a ball. I want you to tap that on the table. So hold it like this around the sides, okay? Like a gripper machine, okay? But you don't want to squeeze the sides, so you're just holding it gently. Tap it on the table, tap, 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 tap. You can turn it as you're doing it if you want. So the idea is to flatten out the bottom. So we want it to look like a dome, okay? Or a half moon. Okay, so give that a good old tap on the table so that it's getting flat at the bottom. Okay, so flat at the bottom, like a wee half moon. Okay, now with your brown, we're going to roll that into a sausage shape, a bit like a Tic Tac sweet or an oval shape. So using your high five hand, roll forward and back just 2 or 3 times. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing again. Keep it upright, hold it by the sides and tap it on the table to flatten out the bottom. And this part is the bit that's going to join on to the flat part of the tan coloured piece. Okay, so we have two flat parts and we're just going to touch those together. Like you see it coming together already. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is give him a lovely smiley face, but first of all, we need to see where his nose is going to go. So I'm going to, at the top, draw a line down the front. And then I'm going to do a nice big smiley mouth. Okay. Now, we're going to take our little bit of clay for the nostrils, and we're going to pick off 2 little bits for 2 little ball shapes. Okay, so make those. These are going to be the nostrils. You don't want them to be too big. Right, that's great. Okay, so we're going to set these either side of the line. So one here and one here for his wee nostrils. Okay, and what you're going to do is poke a little hole into those, okay? So take your little tool and just push down to create the little nose, the little nostrils. Okay, great. So he has a lovely smiley mouth, he has his nostrils. Now we're going to give him some eyes. So we need to take out a small amount of white, about the size of a pea. Okay, about the size of a pea. We stretch and fold, guys. Roll it into a sausage, and we need to cut this in half because we have 2 eyes. Cut it in half, roll 2 ball shapes. You want these to be about the same size. It would be good if they're about the same size. Okay, 2 ball shapes. Now we're going to make these into 2 ovals. So with Peter Pointer, roll forward and back just once or twice, and then press down to flatten those. Okay, and we're going to pop those on about halfway up the head. So go in line with your nostrils. So they're going to go on to the dark brown. And you see how I've followed behind where the nostrils are, either side of the little line. Okay, so once you've done that, it's just a case of putting a little bit of black for 2 pupils. So take out a pinch of black, just the tiniest amount, guys, okay? So about half the size of a pea, if not even less. Okay, cut that in half and roll 2 ball shapes for your pupil of your eye. Okay. Press down and pop those on to the front of the white. There we go, happy days. Now, bring forward the piece of clay that you had for the ears, okay? All right, now I want you to take off teeny tiny little pinch, tiny little pinch, and cut it in half. So roll a sausage, cut it in half. It is the smallest amount, guys. And roll 2 little sausages. See that? So it's less than the tip of my finger. And I'm going to flatten that down a wee bit. Now guys, this is a tricky bit, so you don't have to do this, but if you're quite young, so maybe say you're P1, this might be a bit tricky for you, so you could maybe get mummy or daddy to do it, or do you know what, you don't have to do it, okay? It's not going to take away from Bullseye, but we're going to wrap this around the top of his eye. So starting at one side like this, and then just wrap it around the top of his eye. So this is his eyelid. You see that? So you can do that with both. Okay, so mummy and daddy, maybe you're doing this bit. Good luck. But you don't have to do that bit, okay? So it will not take away from Bullseye. It's just a wee bit of detail that I like to add, but honestly, with or without eyelids, he's fine, okay? The rest of that bit of clay that you've taken for the ears, I want you to stretch and fold. I want you to cut it in half and roll 2 ball shapes. So roll those into ball shapes, and then we're going to make 2 droplet shapes. So finger to one side, roll forward and back to make a pointy on one side, like a little teardrop or a water drop. Okay, we're going to flatten those down a little bit and then run a little line up the middle. So flatten those down, take your knife, put a little line down the length of the ear. That's just going to make it a wee bit more detailed for you there. Okay, almost like the petal of a flower. And then guys, we're going to literally just stick those on to the 2 sides of the head. So again, just go to the 2 sides of the eyes, right on the very top. See, centered on the top, behind the eyes, the 2 sides. Make sure and leave room for a mane. All right, isn't he coming together? I love this wee guy. He's one of my absolute favourites to make. So he is, and I love Toy Story. Okay, guys, so we need to add him onto our wee body, okay? I'm going to set him on the white. Hopefully you can see him a wee bit better there. So take the head, and it's the back of the head that sits onto the neck, okay? Back of the head onto the neck. Now, if you put him flat on the table, okay, this is where you bring your hoof up either side, and this is why we have the little line, why we cut the little line in, okay? So you have a wee bend in the middle there, and you're going to prop his wee head up, because he's having a wee chill. So do you see, I had the wee line cut in the middle, see, like on the back. So see him in the front, and that allows you to bend those wee legs. Oh, super cute. I love him. Okay, now, so to finish him off, we need a mane, okay? We'll give him a nice mane and a tail. So we have set aside this smaller piece of brown, that's about the size of a Malteser sweet there, guys. Okay, and what we want to do, if you've any orange left, stick a bit of orange in there too, all right? This is where you can start to use all the wee bits of leftover clay. Okay, so I've stuck a wee bit of orange on there. I'm going to take a bit of black as well, about the size of mutton, slightly smaller than a Malteser sweet. Going to add that on too. So I have like wee multicoloured thing going on there, okay? Now, we're going to stretch and fold. Keep on stretching and folding, and you want to see a lot of that starting to disappear. Now, whenever you get to this stage where you can see wee grains of the brown still, okay? And it's not quite black. It's not quite black yet. That's what you want, all right? So cut that in half. You don't have to roll it into a sausage, because by rolling it, the more you squeeze it and roll it, the more you're going to lose those shades of colours, okay? So try not to, okay? So the smaller bit, if you've got 2 bits and you've got a smaller bit, this is going to be the mane. So what I want you to do is just once or twice stretch and fold, but keep it, pardon me, in the length, okay? So out, in, and that's it. You can see the little pattern there. Now, on his head, I want you to start, so it's a wee bit longer. You see how it's longer? It's not like a ball shape. I'm going to start between his ears, okay? Between his ears. Now you wait, I'll do mine first, okay? So between his ears, and then I'm going to push that down the back of the head and onto the neck. And then I'm going to squidge it with my fingers and my nails to bring it out so that it looks nice and full, okay? So start between the ears, bring it down the back of the neck, like that, okay? Now, tail is exactly the same, exactly the same. So you've got your piece of clay, you want to stretch it out, fold it back, maybe just once or twice, and then you're literally just going to push that on to the back of his body, and it'll sit out onto the table. And there he is. Isn't he absolutely gorgeous? I love him. I love him. Guys, well done. I hope yours is just, and I'm sure it is, absolutely fabulous. So if you have made your Bullseye, I would love to see a picture of Bullseye, and you, if you're allowed. So drop me a wee picture, please, 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 and let me see your finished results. And I really hope you've enjoyed your little summer camp, and hopefully we'll get to see you soon. See you later, guys.